All right, so we'll just walk over to Monitor World here. We have some band equipment from the Amy Moses band to feed some in-ears. We have our wireless 4 channels as backups. We're not really using them, but if the proverbial shit hits the fan, we can get out some wireless. I'm not sure what of this kit we're actually using. I know we're using 2 in-ears. Maybe those. I'm not sure what it all is. But definitely we have 4 wireless up and running. Here is the Digico SD rack that's carrying our some of our inputs, which aren't very many. Normally we have a lot more inputs going than just, what, 9? However, the outputs here, we have a lot of outputs. The ones on the right there, that's the main PA feed, subs, front fills, etc. All of these outputs are for monitors. The best way I figured to split the monitors was to use the analog outs of this rack to feed the analog inputs of the S31, which is driving all of our monitor feeds. With all the craziness in Matty world going on, this seemed like the most rational and simplest approach to do, was to do an analog split off the SD rack. So he's got 10 mixes going. There's a bunch of wedges up front. We have the 2 in-ears. We have hotspots for the drum kit and for the conductor. There's some wedges for the rhythm section, bass guitar, and another wedge for the piano. Then I think there might be a wedge over in percussion land for them to, you know, stay with things. One of the things we struggle with a lot is the drum kit on stage. Here you see we have plexiglass. We also have some acoustic panels in there to deaden it down as much as possible. You know, it's hard for the drummer to keep it so incredibly quiet and still exciting. So it's always a tricky thing to pull off. Okay, there you go. There's a nice shot of the chandelier and music hall. Boop, boop, doo. Okay, so we're up here at front of house. Got the SD12 here. You can see the stage. I was going to talk a little bit about what we've done here. So let's see. Over here, we've got my Happy set up, and that is feeding Matty into the console. And as I talked about before in the other video, I've brought those Matty inputs to be the input channels for the console. That's all the studio recording mics that are on stage, or at least the ones that I need for front of house. And that's how it's getting into the console here. And then we're feeding the main PA hangs, which you can sort of see there. Oops, it's hard to do this on camera. We also have some speakers here in the balcony to help provide clarity for people sitting in the way back rows of the balcony. And there's some upstairs as well. So we're feeding all of that from the console. We're also feeding the live stream here in the video production control room. And that is coming out of the Happy. And it's analog because we're running 96K, and the Aja recorders, we can't accept that digitally because they're running at 48K. So we're using analog connection for the live stream and for the video record. Yeah. So let's take a look at a couple other things. Right here we have an iPad that runs this Go software that plays the opening announcement, you know, to turn off your cell phones and stuff. Over here, I've got my laptop set up to play a silly sample. This, yeah, I think you heard it there. It's a belch sample. It's for a comedy bit for the 12 days of Christmas. I'm running the window, drop the sample in, drop a little mini keyboard. Got a couple of cameras here for Video World. I'm using a JBL Eon for my solo bus so I can hear things real quick. And we also have this mono feed here, this cable. And that is feeding the spotlight booth. That is Laura. She's asking me if I'm ready for the house doors, which I am. So there's a look at the stage from way back here. Beautiful. So we hear the Amy Moses band is tuning their harp. And let's see, where are we? Harp. Oop, come on. There we go. I got my solo bus there. Beautiful. There's a bunch of utility stuff in the console, like Voice of God, the opening announcement, the sample for the belch, my talkback mic, a backstage mic that always remains open in case of fire emergency, layers with musical stuff. Here are the outputs here. Here's the main HKPA system, the subs, the front fills, the under balconies. This is the third balcony feed, hearing impaired, and backstage feed, so people can hear backstage what's going on. If you notice, everything's real low. Plus my master bus, I'm at -7-ish, something like that. We are trying to run this show really quiet. What we discovered was, in the first couple of shows, if we ran like a normal or louder level, a more exciting level, that we're just blowing out the recording mics with the PA system, which, you know, you would expect that. So what we've done now is turn everything down, and we're starting very quiet. And actually what we're discovering is that the inner blends of the orchestra sound much more natural and much better in the house without pushing the PA too hard. So we're trying to stay quiet. Now, some people don't like that. Some people want it louder. But for the sake of the recording, we're going to keep it low. And the audience is happy. We have standing ovations. Everybody's enjoying the show. So I don't think we're obviously entertaining everybody with the mix. And it sounds much better. So, yeah, we're going to keep it quiet. And so it really is truly sound reinforcement. The orchestra should sound like an orchestra on stage, and they should balance with themselves without me having to push various instruments. I mean, sometimes the woodwind solo, a little feature, I'll turn up one of the woodwind mics. The chorus is the thing because they're so far back on stage that I have to be careful how much I bring them up because the percussion mics are in it and everything, you know. So there's a lot going on there. But we're working from the idea that we want to keep things as quiet as possible to help with the recording and the live stream too. It's all the same. The live stream is being mixed down in the control room, and that is going to Video World. I'm not mixing the live stream. So, okay. That's it from front of house.